Well, a very good evening on this 27th day of November 2025. It is a day that will go down in history as a test of Kenya's electoral integrity and democracy as by-elections took place in various parts of the country. News coming in from ongoing vote counting is that DCP candidate for Kisa East Ward, known as Quisero, or rather Quisero constituency in Kakamega, known as Dixon Aduda Okwiri, has won. Other reports allege that Eric Wekesa has been elected in Narok Town Ward. The win marks a significant milestone for DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagwa's political outfit as it seeks to expand its influence across the country. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let's kick off. Thursday's mini polls were marked by violence, with candidates pointing an accusing finger to their opponents. The chaos left property destroyed and life endangered. And as Sami Adika reports, the polls were also overshadowed by claims of voter bribery, as candidates and party leaders accusing each other of attempting to influence voters, making it seem as a matter of life and death.
National Police Service is prepared to arrest all goons, all criminals, all persons who are intending to disrupt peaceful elections in our country.
Despite the government assuring Kenyans of peace during the by-elections, the outcome was a bit different. Chaos was witnessed in different polling stations. The hotly contested Mbeere North parliamentary seat, where DP Kithure Kindiki and his predecessor Rigathi Gachagua seek to prove who sways the vote-rich region. DP's party leader Justin Muturi confronted Nyeri MCA Kiruga Thuku, who was dressed in UDA party colors, with Muturi insisting the attire breaches electoral regulations.
Excuse us,
In Malava, Kakamega County, chaos was reported way before the start of today's mini polls. DAPK candidate Seth Panyako claimed he was attacked at night by a section of UDA top supporters in the county in a hotel he was staying for the night. An attack that left his driver and bodyguard nursing serious injuries.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, through Farouk Kibet and Nabi Nabwera, Stanley Livondo and Rashid Echeza, had been instructed clearly to come and assassinate me with my wife. Because I know the party leader told you that I was doing 52%. But according to the poll that was done yesterday, I was doing 75%. And the government candidate was doing 24%. So the only option that is there for the government candidate to win this election is to assassinate me.
In Kasipul, Homa Bay Town, Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma was equally roughed up and badly injured on the head by individuals he claimed were sent by their major rival Philip Aroko.
People want to cause violence so that they scare people from voting. Because they know we have won. So come out and vote. You see, they have attacked me, but I'm still here. There is no issue. Come out and vote. As we encouraged our people, please don't react even if you are attacked. Just the way you have not reacted.
Today's event have painted the picture of the political arena in the country, begging the question of who is to blame. Is it politicians, hired goons, the police, or the IEBC? And what can be done to avert such chaos come 2027? For Newswatch, I'm Sami Adika.
Much appreciated, Sami Adika, for that report. Now, vote counting is underway in all 22 areas that took part in today's by-elections, marked by violence and heightened political tension. Pollings closed at 5 p.m. and tallying is now ongoing at constituency and ward centers under the supervision of the IEBC party agents, observers, and security officers. While voting was largely peaceful in many regions, several incidents of violence were reported, including confrontations between rival groups, attacks on party agents, and attempts to disrupt polling stations. The most serious cases were recorded in Kasipul, Malava, and Kabuchai, where police were forced to intervene. In Kasipul, 17 youths were arrested while patrolling with crude weapons, including machetes. Police are also pursuing a separate group believed to have stolen a firearm during earlier clashes. The IEBC has dismissed online claims of ballot stuffing, assuring the public that it is monitoring systems and the presence of observers makes such allegations baseless. Security agencies say they are working to maintain calm as tallying continues and will take action against anyone attempting to disrupt the process. Results from the 22 areas are expected progressively through the night. Voters in Malava constituency, Kakamega County, have casted their ballots to elect a new member of parliament. As vote counting continues tonight, tension remains high after reports of violence, disruption, and arrests overshadowed what was meant to be a peaceful by-election.
Thursday's Malava parliamentary by-election was necessitated by the vacant seat left by the death of Mululu Injedi earlier this year. As vote counting continues this evening throughout the night, major contenders include UDA's David Ndakwa and Seth Panyako of the APK party, with both expecting to win the hotly contested poll.
Tunasema hivi, kama collusion inataka mtu mmoja na wametokea wawili, walete hiyo watu yote kwa ground, wapiga kura.
In the lead up to the vote, there were concerns over the alleged voter bribery and illegalities. Senior opposition figures had sounded an alarm, urging the electoral body to act against what they described as open handouts, including food and blankets being used to sway voters. On polling day, heavy security deployments, including plainclothed officers to preempt anticipated disorder. Still, violence erupted. A campaign convoy vehicle was torched. At least 2 people were reported injured after clashes at a local hotel where Panyako was meeting supporters, and the opposition candidate was detained under contested circumstances. Compounding the tension, Panyako was reportedly arrested, prompting his supporters to accuse security agencies of harassment and intimidation. He, however, announced through social media that he was safe from West Cabras within the constituency Thursday evening. Despite the tension, IBC says voting went in more than 198 polling stations across the constituency, with over 94,000 registered voters eligible to cast ballots. Reporting for Newswatch, my name is Glory Nkatha.
Now from Malava to Mbeere, after waiting with bated breath, residents of Mbeere North took to the ballot on Thursday to elect their new member of parliament in a hotly contested election that has drawn interest from all corners of the country. The United Democratic Alliance Party accused the United Opposition of planning to cause violence and voter bribery, claims which were countered by Democratic Party leader Justin Muturi.
After high-octane campaigns that dotted the constituency for the past few weeks, Mbeere North residents queued in the various polling stations to elect their new member of parliament on Thursday to replace Geoffrey Ruku, who was appointed to cabinet in 2024. The Public Service Cabinet Secretary accompanied UDA's candidate Leonard Wambudhende, expressing confidence in Wambudhende winning the election. Speaking before voting at the Siakago Social Hall polling station, Wambudhende claimed that the opposition were planning to cause violence and rig the election in favor of their candidate Newton Kariuki. There was a fracas outside the Siakago Social Hall in the morning hours after Democratic Party leader Justin Muturi got physical trying to chase away Chinga Ward MCA Kiruga Thuku for wearing UDA party colors on polling day, which is an electoral offense.
Kiruga, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is better. You cannot come into the polling booth area when you are donning party colors. Yes. If he is an authorized agent, or even indeed is whatever kind of person, even observer, he must come wearing other kind of clothes. Not coming wearing donning party colors.
At Kangu Primary School, Embu Governor Cecily Mbarire was chased away by the voters there who claimed she was trying to influence the outcome, while at Kanyuambora Primary School, CS Ruku was blocked from entering the polling station.
There is no voter bribery from our side whatsoever. We have done very vigorous campaigns across the Mbeere North constituency, and we are sure the people of Mbeere North have made the decision. They made the decision a week ago. Today is just confirmation of the decision that Reo Mwamudende is the next member of parliament for this area.
Counting is underway in the polling stations, with the residents calling for calm as the election process enters home stretch. For Newswatch, my name is Jacob Ochiro.
Well, that report by Jacob takes us to a short break on Newswatch tonight. Don't go too far. We're coming back with the IEBC integrity question. Stay tuned.
Get ready for an unforgettable worship experience. Every Sunday on Ultimate Worship. Where we bring you live music, powerful praise, and anointed gospel ministers and bands. Join us every Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. with a repeat at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Everywhere I go, I see you right there.
It's not just music, it's worship unleashed. It's ultimate worship.
You're too faithful to fail me.
Only on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Are you ready now?
At the age of 25 is where there is also another change, because the frontal cortex, this part of the head, the maturity now of the brain happens at that time, which is responsible for intellectual abilities, decision makings, and like the executive area of the brain. Again, it comes with other challenges. Now that I am who I am, you withdraw further from people. Then the other stage that comes in, sometimes it can come early from the age of 35 all the way to 55. Midlife crisis. Midlife crisis. So the man is trying to catch up with the lost time. Unajua anajaribu kuingia kwa hawa vijana because they lost the time, they don't fit. Unapata jamaa anaacha koti avae, lakini wao wamevaa
Jibu unaacha koti. Are you trying to communicate?
Are you trying to fit? So like so like they are trying to fit, but as they move closer to this generation, now ina move away. Inasonga, ukikuja inasonga. So then the loneliness increases. And in fact, it is that critical stage where in the field of psychology, we teach the men to begin to prepare themselves for that package of retirement.
Catch past episodes on our YouTube channel at Hope TV Kenya.
Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. Kenyans across the country followed closely the multiple by-elections, not just for who will win the parliamentary and county seats, but as a critical test of confidence in the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is IEBC. Fresh concerns over low voter turnout, chaos before and during campaigns, and allegations of voter bribery threatened to shake public trust in the electoral process ahead of the 2027 general election.
The by-elections held today in 18 counties for 6 members of National Assembly, 15 members of County Assembly, and 1 senatorial position were expected to be a simple exercise. Instead, the mini polls have exposed deep concerns over electoral preparedness ahead of the 2027 general elections. Across several polling stations, turnout remains strikingly low, with some stations recording only a handful of voters by midday. In some constituencies, early reports showed thin and very short queues at polling stations, even hours after voting began. Speaking earlier on at Siror Primary School during her visit in various polling centres in Igunja constituency, IEBC's Vice Chairperson Fahima Arafat Abdallah made a clarion call to area residents to come out and cast their vote.
Vile tumeweza kupitia voting polling stations zingine, na pia ningeomba nitoe wito kwa specific watu wa Ugunja Primary. Wale watu wa Ugunja Primary mpaka sasa naona voter turnout iko chini kidogo, lakini nataka niwaambie ya kwamba kama tume tumehakikisha maandalizi yako sawa na usalama uko sawa, na tuko na maofisa wawili kwa kila kituo na amani iko sawa. Kwa hivyo specifically watu wa Ugunja Primary mpaka sasa naona ni takriban watu kidogo tu wamejitokezea, lakini naomba ya kwamba mtoke, na pia ningependa kuwaita especially the youth, wale ambao ni registered voters, wakuje wapige kura na wananchi wote wa Kenya.
The build-up to the by-elections were marred by reports of violent confrontations during rallies, disrupted campaign events, and heavy police deployments, including claims of voter bribery and the attack of some aspirants, including DAPK's Seth Panyako. Ndegwa Njiru, an advocate of the High Court and an observer credited by the IEBC, opines that this might have contributed to voters sticking around in polling stations to safeguard their votes.
They never moved the Ministry of Interior to gazette the affected areas as public holiday to grant the people an opportunity to participate in the elections. That is one of the things that perhaps must have affected the voters' turnout. Why didn't the Ministry of Interior gazette these areas as public holiday? It was strategically so. If you know, employer will ask his employee, why didn't you come to work on the 27th? The answer cannot be that I was doing an election.
Analysts and observers say today's low turnout of voters, especially the youth, could be a reflection of growing dissatisfaction and dwindling public confidence in the electoral body and system. Julieta Teller from Siasa Place shares her insight on this.
Right now, we are currently seeing the low turnout, especially young people turning out very low when it comes to participating in the by-election. And one of the key things that Siasa Place has really been seeing is there is lack of trust of young people with our institution like IBC. And others were not able to participate because, again, the tension within these areas. So you find that there was political tension, and they prefer not to, turn out in large number and, go and cast their vote.
They never moved the Ministry of Interior to gazette the affected areas as public holiday to grant the people an opportunity to participate in the elections. That is one of the things that perhaps must have affected the voters' turnout. Why didn't the Ministry of Interior gazette these areas as public holiday? It was strategically so. If you know, employer will ask his employee, why didn't you come to work on the 27th? The answer cannot be that I was doing an election.
And for the IEBC, who are rebuilding public trust after prolonged transition, these by-elections were meant to restore public trust. Instead, critics say they reveal several gaps in logistical planning, security coordination, and enforcement of electoral laws, now raising questions on IEBC's credibility, preparedness, and the ability to handle the general election come 2027.
The entire commission has lost it. They have forgotten that they got to office on a very low public confidence. And instead of them seizing the moment to enhance and invite the members of the public to have evidence with them, they have decided to see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. And that's the tragedy we are having. I have not heard the chairman of the IBC react to the violence that is happening at the Kapchai ward or the Malava constituency. Inspector General of Police has not spoken about it. Even the political representative of the Interior, that is Mr. Murkomen, has not spoken about it.
As the ABC conducted data mapping to determine how many eligible young people are unable to register due to lack of IDs and which counties are most affected. That's something that IBC needs to really help in terms of championing. Another thing is IBC advocating for policy changes that would allow alternative documentation for like first-time voters, especially youth who are transitioning out of school. Accountability, mobile registration, data and mapping when it comes to ID, which is one of the key requirements for voters' card.
Now, with less than 2 years to the general elections, today's mini polls raise a critical question. Is the IEBC ready and well prepared for 2027? As Kenyans continue to await results, the call for a trustworthy, transparent, and peaceful electoral process remains louder now more than ever. Reporting for Hope TV, my name is Faith Kaulu.
Thank you, Faith Kaulu. Now, earlier on, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has urged security agencies to guarantee voters' safety in the ongoing by-elections, saying every Kenyan must cast their ballot without fear or intimidation. Speaking after voting at Namakele Primary School in Chewele, Kabuchai Ward, Wetangula encouraged voters in all 16 affected areas to turn out in large numbers and exercise their civic duty. The Speaker also urged voters to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity and appealed to police officers to create an environment that allows citizens to express their will freely at the ballot.
That from the agencies I've talked to, there is sufficient security deployed and people should not act in any fear. They should go and vote and go home to wait for the results that will be announced after tallying. This is after the stations are closed at 5. And I wish the best candidate to win. I have been informed in this particular station that there are few hiccups being caused by the fingerprints not responding to the kits. But there's an alternative mechanism where there is a hitch with fingerprints. The presiding officer is obligated under the law to fill a form. As long as the voter has an ID that is able to identify you, they fill a form to record that the KIMS kit did not capture the data of this particular voter, but is a legitimate registered voter with an ID and identifiable, so they must be assisted to vote. I'm told most of the cases are our elderly women. I believe because of hard labor on farms, they always erode the grooves of the fingerprints. People who work in quarries, people who work on heavy farm work have those challenges across the country, and we need to have a mechanism where they are easily assisted to exercise their duty.
Now, away from matters politics to women empowerment, President William Ruto and First Lady Rachel Ruto joined women in celebrating the 16th anniversary of the Joyful Women Organization. President Ruto has urged women to continue supporting the government in improving Kenya, saying he recognizes their vital contribution to nation building. He made the remarks when he joined the First Lady Rachel Ruto at the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Women Empowerment Organization, Joyful Women in Kasarani constituency. Tracy Onsoti reports.
President William Ruto has acknowledged that women have been at the forefront of government initiatives despite limited empowerment funds and challenges related to their health. During the 16th anniversary of Joyful Women in Kasarani, Nairobi, Ruto assured women that beyond Joe, they can also access loans from the Hustler Fund at low interest rates as long as they repay on time.
Ukitaka kuongezea pesa yako, unaweza pia kwenda kwa Hustler Fund. Pale kwa Hustler Fund, vile hakuna security kwa Joiwo, pia kule Hustler Fund hakuna security. Unahitaji. Pale kwa Hustler Fund, character is your collateral. Integrity is your currency. The same way it is in Joiwo.
First Lady Rachel Ruto, who led the celebrations, highlighted how technology has transformed Joiwo and made it more impactful for women across the country.
Digitizing Joyful Women to secure the next generation with digital reporting, mobile table banking tools, and strengthened transparency. Digitization means a woman in Turkana, Mombasa, or Kiambu will access the same opportunities with dignity and speed. Some of the notable achievements we are celebrating today include over 300,000 businesses started, 3 million lives directly touched, over 3.5 billion shillings circulated through tables in 44 counties, 50,000 tanks provided for households, 50 million trees planted, 70% of them fruit trees.
According to Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, President Ruto's administration has negotiated with the European organization to reduce the cost of breast cancer treatment by about 67% for patients.
Tumeingia mkataba na kampuni kubwa ya duniani inaitwa Roche, ambayo inatengeneza madawa ya saratani ya matiti or breast cancer. Na kila session hiyo dawa ilikuwa inauzwa 120,000 session moja, lakini kwa mazungumzo na MOU tumeingia na hiyo kampuni kama Wizara ya Afya. Nataka nitangaze ya kwamba leo katika nchi yetu hiyo dawa inauzwa 40,000 kutoka 120.
For Newswatch, I'm Tracy Onsoti.
Like I won't finish. Now, more than 500 community health volunteers in Lower Nyakach have a reason to smile after the Lee's Foundation committed to supporting their children through an education bursary program. Speaking at Onego Primary School during celebrations to mark the foundation's 3rd anniversary, Nyakach parliamentary seat aspirant Nation Kuja said CHVs are unsung heroes who have long been neglected despite their critical role in the community.
Since we started Lee's Foundation, we are finding that there are so many people who have needs, but Lee's Foundation cannot satisfy all of them. So as much as we try satisfying most of them, but we cannot satisfy everyone. I'll ask and request many people, and particularly youth, to turn out and get votes, get registered as voters, being that our votes will count.
Now in business, Kenya has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening cooperation with China as the presence of more Chinese enterprises in the country continue to signal confidence in Kenya's stability and investment climate. A delegation from the China Exim Bank led by Chairman Chen Huayu and accompanied by Chinese Ambassador to Kenya, Guyo Haiyan, met with Kenyan officials to discuss ways of deepening bilateral ties. During the meeting, Kenya outlined its new roadmap aimed at transforming the nation into a first world economy. All is set for the 2025 NCBA Golf Series Grand Finale tomorrow at the Par 72 Muthaiga Golf Club, marking the culmination of the 5th edition of the series. The highly anticipated event will bring together 250 golfers, with 90 of those coming from the qualifiers held in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, competing for the series top honors in the overall men's, ladies, and junior categories. This will be the third time that Muthaiga will be hosting the grand finale since its inception in 2021. And with that, we have come to the end of Newswatch tonight. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Of course, the nation will continue receiving results from the by-elections, and we will be bringing you much more on that report tomorrow night at 9 p.m., even as we take a look at today's conundrum. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Have a good night.